Guys, it's me. I'm back.
What's up, party people?
We're like, Mads, come on. All right, this show is taking a turn for the. Oh. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Monster Bass Live. I feel like I haven't been here in a little bit. Were we here last week, Conrad? No, we weren't here last week. That's right. Oh, we didn't have internet in the office. That's right. You know, last week we didn't have internet in the office, and I could have done the show by myself at my house, but I felt like the topic was really too important. My guest was going to be fishing with Gramps, and I had a topic that I really wanted to talk about, and that has to do with the veterans, that has to do with mental illness, and something that's really near and dear and important to me. And I didn't want to half-ass a show. I wanted to make sure that this topic was given the full show that it deserves. And so we're gonna definitely have another one. We're going to get Gramps rescheduled, but we got a great show for you today. We've got Luke Palmer on the show. Now, maybe you know him, maybe you don't, but this guy has fished 49 tournaments, and he's placed in the money 45 times. You do the math. That's like 90% of the time this guy's in the money. So if you've got questions about how to catch fish, don't call me, but call into my show. And we got a guy that's going to answer all the questions for you because he knows a thing or two about fishing. So I wanted to give a shout out to. I got some stuff in the mail. I'm gonna hold it up for you. Hold on. I got a towel. I got a T-shirt from Kids Can Fish. And I just wanted to say thank you to those guys for sending it over to me. I'm excited that we were able to help support their tournament. Don't forget, we got the golden tickets today, and the hotline is open. We're going to open it right now and get you guys lined up. Tomorrow's Veterans Day. And if it's your first time tuning in, thanks a lot for tuning in, but it's an important day. It's a day that we think, it should be every day, but I'm glad that we have a day to remind everyone that the life we live in this country wouldn't be possible without the sacrifices of all the men and women that serve this country. And so to you guys, I want to be the first to say thank you so much for everything that you do. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not grateful for it. I wake up every morning as part of my gratitude process. I do thank all of you, and I hope you all have a great day tomorrow. We sent out a package I sent it out yesterday. I gave out one of the golden tickets. We had a show, and I think we gave it out. And it was a Daiwa backpack packed full of baits. That went out the door yesterday. I sent out some rods. The sample rods are going out the door for people to make some content. So, don't forget, if you've got a golden ticket when I call it out, email me at marketing.com or marketing at monsterbass.com. All right, let's see who's in the chat today. We got Marty the Party. Oh, now it's Rippin' Lips with Marty Lawson. Brian Rand. RC Basson, of course. What else we got here? Westfall Outdoors. We should have him on the show sometime. Fishing with T-Rex. We should have him on the show sometime. You know what we should do is we should have a show where I bring on like 3 guests and we have their pictures down at the bottom of the screen, and it's kind of like a fishing Jeopardy. We'll put like T-Rex against Westfall Outdoors against Marty the Party, and we'll see what people can do. Let's see. My box got lost in the mail and it was supposed to arrive a couple days after my birthday. Care has been helpful. I hope that means customer service has been helpful. If they haven't, please let me know. Let's see. Army Outdoors 88. What's going on, my friend? I sent you a package. Yes, as Jason just said, 24 users and 9. Oh, now we're up to 48. How many likes? Smash that like button for me. Do me a favor. All right, let's see. 22 a day. Yes, it's a very important thing to me. And then there's Mr. Gambit. Boy, is he going to get an earful from me. Because a little bird told me that Mr. Gambit was over on, I don't know if it was the Guggen Squad channel or the Mystery Tackle. Oh, Shop Carl's. He was over pumping Shop Carl's. So the question for Mr. Gambit today is really, what side of the coin are you on, my friend? Are you just playing both parties? I don't know. We're going to find out because we're going to ask him later on. He may be in holiday mode. And speaking of holiday mode, and then we're going to get right to our guest. I don't want to waste any time. I will not be here. I'll not be here the week of Thanksgiving. Oh, yeah, it's on Thanksgiving. So, of course, I'm not having a show. I won't be here that entire week. I'm taking my son to Japan. We've had this trip planned for about 3 years, and then COVID hit. And so he and I are going to head over to Japan and do whatever we're going to do in Japan. Probably eat a lot. He's only 18. So. And even if I let him drink, he's not going to drink. He follows every rule. I try to jaywalk. He doesn't let me. Anyway. All right, let's see who else we got here. Pretty good. You have one of those iconic hoodies on hand since the picture isn't on the website. This one should be on the website. So there's two, and you're right. I don't even have the imagery. I ordered one that's in a bone-colored hoodie with the logo, and then this one is on the website though, guys. You can score yourself this one. I know. I always get the good stuff, but you guys can get it too. I got hats coming, everything. It's all coming. We got to make sure we got everything ready for Dick's and Walmart and everyone else that wants this stuff. So we got a good stuff. Am I going to sign Luke Palmer to a sponsor deal? Brian, you're giving away all my money before I've even had the guest on the show, my friend. Yes, we got fat boy sizes. I love my fat boy sizes. We got up to 6X, I think. If you want something bigger, we're going to have you on the show and we're going to talk about moderation because I think that would be the key to getting you down to a 6X. All right. Let's not waste any more time. Geisha. Plum. Black Friday deals coming. Of course there's Black Friday deals. I'll give you one and then we're going straight to my guest. Actually, my Black Friday deals are going to be as follows. I wonder if I can do this. I mean, it's my company, but marketing might get mad at me. Screw it. Here you go. Ready? I'm going to do a 1-day buy one, get one free on the rods. Yeah. Buy one, get one free on the rods. I'm going to do up to 75% on all baits and bundles store-wide. I'm going to do, I think it's spend $50, get a free reel from 13 Fishing. By the way, I ordered some new reels. I got some Lures. I got some Quantums. I got some other stuff coming. Also, if you didn't notice today, Tackle Outlet opened up. So you can head over to overstockbait.com. And what's new about this site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the store off of Monster Bass. The only thing you'll be able to buy on Monster Bass will be just our products. Everything else will move over to Outlet Bait and Tackle. So you can go to overstockbait.com. And everything I got left over, you guys can get. And here's what's great about this website. You ready? 20% cash back every day, every purchase. That's it. Everything you buy, you're going to earn up to 20% cash back every single day. Now, I know you sit at home and if you get a credit card that gives you 4% cash back, you're pretty happy. I'm giving you 20% cash back every day. All you do is check out. It'll drop something in your cart. When you're done, it'll give you all the information so you can get it. And you're good to go. Marty, we got some hats on the website. I do. I got a gray one in there. I'll find it today. Oh, maybe it's not on there. Somebody do me a favor and text me. Remind me to go find the slouchy hats for Marty. That way it'll be in there. Let's see. What else are we doing? All right. Here's something. Now we're going straight to our host or straight to our guest. I'm thinking about, so we got the 3 months, right? Z-Man's taking over the box, Strike King's taking over the box, Lunker Hunt's taking over the box. I'm thinking about doing a fourth. I'm thinking about doing a best of Monster Bass and reaching out to some of the brands that we've worked with in the past and seeing if I can get some of the baits, like the iconic hail craw worm. Like we brought that back to life. It won the classic and I can't remember what year. And they stopped making them. I'm going to see if they can make some more. I want to do like a best of box and like go back 3 years and pull a bait that hasn't been in the box in 3 years, get some new colors, get some exclusive colors so that even if you got a duplicate, you wouldn't get the same color. It'd be something totally different, but like maybe I could put together like the best of. So I'd love to know what you guys thought about that and tell me what you think. Like call in. After you're done asking, Luke how to win your local fishing tournament, you can ask me a question about like, tell me what your thoughts are about a best of box, because I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. I wouldn't do it unless you guys, liked it. And then last but not least, I just want to say happy birthday to Fishing with Cotton. So Chancey, first of all, thank you for your service. Secondly, it's my honor and privilege to call you a friend. I'm grateful for the support that you give to my company. And I just want to say, I hope you have a really great day with your family and friends. I hope you're filled up with love and you feel really great today because you deserve it. Okay, let's do this. Like I said, our guest today, Luke Palmer, 90 percentile when it comes to fishing ending up in the money. So this guy knows a thing or two about fishing. The hotline is open. I'm going to pick somebody that asked a question today. So, those golden tickets are nice, but I'll probably give something away that to one of you guys that calls in. So light up that phone line, get it ready because we got a great guest. So let's give a big warm welcome to Luke Palmer. How's it going, man? Yeah. How you doing, man?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I had a whole intro and a bunch of questions I wanted to ask, but I think the question that everyone wants to know is, in your double cassette deck in the back there, what are the 2 cassettes you got back in there?
Shoot, I don't know. Heck, I'm back here in our office at the store, and my uncle, that's his thing. He's probably got some 70s and 80s rock going on.
Can we play it?
I don't even know if it works, honestly.
Oh, I bet it does.
It's been here for so long. I mean, well, you can imagine. You ain't seen a boombox like that in, 30 years? Minimum.
Yeah, that's why I want to play it. I feel like it'd be amazing if we could hit play and like start playing some music. It'd be amazing to find out what he's got in there.
I imagine he lists oldies rock all the time, so I know that's what he's got playing for sure.
All right, fine.
I don't know if he's got any cassettes in it, but
he does. I can see it. I can see it. All right, so you are, I did a little research because we haven't met before, and you are a very busy man. So for those of you guys at home that don't really know who he is, right? He fishes on the Elite Tour Bassmaster, like I said, 90% in the money, and yet he still takes the time to work at the family hardware store, right?
Yeah, it's still in the family. It's as soon as I get done with the tournament, straight back home, straight back to work. Dad, he has cattle and stuff like that, so helping feed after I get off work every night, and I still mow a few yards and stuff on top of that too. And it's just, you got to do what you got to do to make what you want to make, and I want to stay on the elites as long as I can, so I've got to keep that little bit of money coming in when I can.
A little bit. I mean, not gonna lie, I did pretty well this year, and we don't need to share everyone. But if they want to go find out how much you're making, they can probably do it.
Well, it cost a lot more to go this year too. Is the only
Of
problem.
course, of course. So, all right, so we can get for my audience, so we can just get some of this stuff out of the way. You're on the Elite Tour. You've been on the tour for you've been fishing professionally for 4 years.
Yes, sir. Yep.
And at what point did you realize, or did you go to your father in the hardware store, at the farm, wherever, and be like, Dad, I'm going to become a professional angler?
I still don't know if it ever hit me yet. Like I still kind of, I don't know. It's different, I guess. I guess because I'm still working so much
Mm-hmm.
that it almost doesn't feel like I'm fishing professional. If that makes sense. I mean, if I was full time fishing, maybe guiding, in the end of
Mm-hmm.
times, it would probably feel more real. But I got very fortunate coming in to get to the elites. The year prior, I won the ABA Nationals. Well, that paid me enough money to fish the elites the next year, and it just so happens I qualified for the elites that same year. So it worked out very good for me. But it's still one of those deals. I came up to my dad one day. We was leaving that evening. I said, "Hey," I said, "I qualified." I said, "You think I ought to do it?" And he's like, "I don't know why in the heck you wouldn't." And he said, "You've done that. You've worked this hard your whole life to try to do something you want to do." He said, "Go do it."
It's
And I'm
amazing.
getting to do it now. So
That's
it's
amazing. And
been
and
pretty
and
cool.
how'd you do in your very first professional tournament on the elites? How'd you do?
I think I ended up 20th or something. Is at St. John's. Me and Patrick Walters and Lee were all fishing the same exact uh, clumps of cattails and stuff and pencil reeds, and we was all talking to each other pretty much the whole tournament. So it was they both made the top 10, and I didn't get to fish in the boat. So, but it gave me one of them things like, hey, maybe I can do this, you know.
Nice. That's amazing. What what's the biggest misconception that people think about life on tour?
You spend a lot of days by yourself. I do the camping deal. I have a truck bed camper, so I mean, there's several guys that camp and stuff, but you're going to be by yourself a lot. You're going to be on the road a lot. Uh, you miss a lot of things. I don't have any kids or anything yet, but I have a niece.
Mm-hmm.
And when you leave out for 2 or 3 months, you come back and it's like, holy cow, she's walking, she's talking, she's being wild and crazy. It's that part's tough. You see your parents getting older. I mean, if you get to see them every day, you don't notice as much. But boy, when
Yeah.
you're gone for 4, 5, 6 months at a time, you start seeing that, and that part that's the hardest part. And I think that's with any professional thing you do. Whether it's golfing or baseball or football or whatever, you miss a lot of things, but you kind of have to have that drive in your heart that's you want something more. And you make sacrifices. And that's you have to sacrifice something to make it, and you do sacrifice a lot to when you get on the elites. It's everybody thinks you make millions and millions of dollars, and there's probably a few of them out there that are doing it.
Couple.
I'm not one of those guys
Right.
yet. I hope I'm one of those guys eventually, but uh, it takes a lot of money to get on to make the elites. Not only to make it, but once you get there, nothing's guaranteed. And we're chasing a brown and green and a spotted bass around the entire country, and for everything to line up and you to do well, it's tough.
Yeah.
You're fishing against the best in the world. I mean, it's tough. I mean, when you got like guys like Polinick and Swindle and Christie and all those guys, and they're going to take your money. They want that money. They'll do it with a smile on their face. It's but it's other than that, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I've got to fish some places that I would have never left Colgate. Honestly, if it wouldn't have been for the elites, I would have. I mean, I say I'd never left Colgate. I would have fished my local tournaments around here in Oklahoma, maybe northern Texas, and enjoyed it and had a good time fishing with my dad a lot more. Uh, but you want that what I want to try something a little bit different and get out there and see what you can do with your abilities.
What what's the worst thing about being on tour though?
Uh,
Besides missing out on stuff.
you
Because I'll
missing
tell
out?
you what I'll tell you what I think it is. Like I would never, well, I live in a big city, right? So I live in Los Angeles. And so I've become accustomed to, I like my restaurants. I like the place I like to stay. And, but listen, I also do a ton of camping. Like I'm no stranger to roughing it and backpacking and living out in the wilderness for a week. But I have never been I have been in so many small towns. When I got into this industry, I got into so many small towns where I'd fly in, I would pass like 40 churches on the way to the lake. And I'm like, I've never seen so many churches. I'm like, this is the craziest thing. And for me, the hardest thing was, where am I going to stay? You're lucky because you're bringing the bed with you. I mean,
Yeah.
I've stayed in some places where I'm like, I just stayed on top of the bed. I was like, I don't know that I think the tour comes into town and that's it for that season. Other than that, it's local fishing tournaments and that's it.
Yeah, it's I don't know of anything really bad that I've experienced. Like with the camping deal, I like it because like you said, I can drop out anywhere I want to, um, but I get to eat it. The reason I like the camping so well is I can go in, I cook my own meals every night. I
Mm-hmm.
can eat good, um, and I'm sleeping in my own bed every night. That's what I really like. I'm a creature of habit, I guess you'd say,
Sure.
and but I guess the driving would be the worst part, but I don't even mind
Mm,
driving. When I get in the truck, I just put my cruise about 67, 68 mile an hour, get passed by everybody and their dog. I just get on the road and I know I got to drive 24 hours one way. So I just put the old tunes on. If someone calls me, talk to them, listen to podcasts, whatever I'm going to do, and just drive, and just try to enjoy
nice.
it. The traffic's the worst. Just trying to pay attention when I got a truck bed camper. It's 12.5 foot tall, and I got a boat pulling behind it, and you can't see everything around you. So that kind of gets frustrating in bigger cities. But other than that, I just kind of just chill out and I just kind of get in this. Once you get in the zone, I guess for it,
Yeah.
you just quit thinking. You just go.
Right.
Now coming home sucks. That is the worst
Well,
part.
it depends.
Don't get me.
If you got a big check.
Oh yeah, it don't hurt as bad. Yeah, but when you're just that trip home, you're like, dang, the season's over with, or it's a month before I get to go get on the next lake, and that part sucks. But other than that, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. Met a lot of good people, and it's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
Right on. I'm always amazed when we do these live streams when someone comes in and spams the chat with free girls in your city. Like, does that ever work? Like I'm looking at it's someone that spammed our thing, and it seems like every week, and the people that tune in every week know it. And it's like, do you guys all ever like click on that because you're like, oh well, it must be like it's just it boggles my mind. Like, who has the time to do this? Anyway, enough about that. What's the worst lake that or the worst body of water? Or what's the body of water that you've had to fish on tour that you're like, ugh, I hope I never go back there again?
I don't really know. We go to some really fun, good places. Uh, I don't know. Hell, my dog, he wants to jump up here in the
All
picture, I guess
right,
too.
we like
But
dogs.
I don't know. I ain't really just been anywhere. Fork's probably my toughest place because it's
Sure,
right. I'm 2.5 hours and it gets pressured, but it's an amazing fishery. You got a chance to catch fish for a lifetime anytime you're out there. Um, but really, I haven't just been anywhere that I'm just like I don't ever want to do this again.
mm,
But we fish like Sabine River. It's tough, but I enjoy fishing tough places because here in Oklahoma, we have some great fisheries. But if you catch 7 to 10 keepers a day in a tournament, you're doing well. And so going down there and catching 6, 7 fish a day really is nothing new for me. So
sure.
I'm a grinder. I'm a grinder. Those big when it takes a lot of weight to win, I seem like I have a tough time, making my way to the top. So I kind of like that grinder stuff, and that I guess those tough places we go are some of my favorite, really.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, one of the things we do a little different here is we have a call-in number. We take some live calls from some people. So what do you say we let's take a couple phone calls and see what they have to say? All right, let's do that. Go ahead, caller.
Good afternoon, Rick, Luke. How you guys doing?
What's going on?
This is Fishing with T-Rex.
Who?
Yeah, just calling in. What?
Who is this?
Fishing with T-Rex.
I'm just kidding, man. I know who it is.
Hey, don't make me drive down to LA right now. I'm off the next few days, so I got that big tournament this weekend.
Right on.
So, I want to take a quick second and say happy birthday to Mr. Cotton, and I want to thank all the vets. I appreciate you guys' service, and anybody that's in my area knows that I've partnered up with Kill Valhalla Project, and I'm trying to get you some 22-day stickers and a few other things right now, Rick. That's why you haven't received your package that I have here for you. All right, let's go to the question. Luke, I'm fishing a tournament this weekend. It's my first 2-day tournament. Here in California, it's got really cold and heated back up the last 2 days. And today when I was out on the water, I noticed all the shad balls and stuff like that are 25 feet of water. The shad balls are hovering about 20 foot of water. What are you throwing? Water's 65 degrees.
65 degrees. I guess it's gin clear.
Yeah, clear water.
Clear water. And those fish are really, I guess you're fishing more of like a highland reservoir type deal, where you're.
Yeah.
Honestly, the sonar minnow is the one that Christy won with the classic. You can drop that through the bait balls and stuff, and those fish will set. They'll set right under them. They're close to them anyway. And with that, I guess your water it's cooling down just like it is here. And I've had really good success with that. I've had to pick it up a little more than what I'd like to because I'm not really a finesse guy. But it has caught the better than average fish for me around those bait.
All right. I definitely have some of those. I'll give those a try tomorrow when I'm up there. When we go up we had rain Monday, Tuesday here in California, so I'm gonna get up tomorrow. I'll just take the hooks off and run it down through there. And
do you have any drains and stuff like that are going to put some color in the water? Or did y'all get that much rain?
Dumping rain right now.
We got a little. We didn't get that much. I think we got. I think Millerton Lake. They said they got about 1.5 inches of water, 1.5 inches of rain. But as big as that lake is, it didn't really bug it. Didn't cloudy the water or anything.
But you can take that. I like that sonar minnow too. I actually, nose hook and throw it on a drop shot a lot now. I did well on it up at Lake Oahe this year, which I think might be kind of similar to what you're dealing with maybe. Because those fish were completely relating to the smelt or whatever they were up there. And I just kept changing colors until I found a couple that they would be more apt to eating. And I caught them pretty good doing that.
All right. I'll definitely give that a test out tomorrow.
All right.
All right. Well, I don't want to hold you guys up too long. I'm sure Rick's got a lot of people on the line. Keep up the great work. We appreciate everything you do, and thanks for coming and chatting with us. Guys, have a great day.
Appreciate it.
T-Rex, before you go, what
Yes, sir.
have you already figured out what you're making for Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, I'm going to hit a pig And then I'm also going to do up some smoked turkeys. I got probably like 20, 25 people coming over.
Wow. Is Rafi coming over? Hello? Oh.
Nah, he's out.
All right. Done. Well, all right, T-Rex. I hope it wasn't something I said. I mean, gee. All right. Well. All right. Before we go to our next, actually, let's just take our next caller. He's been on a whole 3 minutes waiting.
Must be a good one.
Yeah, it must be. Go ahead, caller. Where are you from? Hello? 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 Can anybody hear me? Uh-oh. We got a problem. Marty the party should be on the phone right now. Ralph Boyd was on the phone. Can you guys... Let me go to the chat. Do we have a technical issue? Oh, T-Rex has said his phone... He can hear, but his call dropped. Marty Lawson, I'm looking in the chat for you, bro. It says you're on the phone right now. Okay. We're going to hang up on Marty Lawson, and he can call back in if we have to. Let's see. We got problems. Let's, should we try calling someone? No. All right. Well, while we're waiting for this to work. So I read somewhere that, if you had to pick one technique, your go-to technique, you're flipping and pitching. Is that correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Being an Oklahoma guy, I think that's all we live by.
Is that mainly because you have a ton of shallow water, or?
Yeah, I mean, around here, there's always, no matter how low the lakes get or how high they get, there's always something to go flip. You know, whether it be rocks, stumps, you know, whatever. And I just like to fish shallow. I mean, I grew up fishing farm ponds and stuff like that, so that kind of gives you a little more, you know, shallow water experience, I guess, growing up. Sure. And I've really pushed it over into my lake fishing a lot, which my dad fished shallow too. So, you know, you kind of follow behind just a little bit.
Totally. I tell everyone that's like the beauty of like we have the subscription box kind of takes you out of your comfort zone, because I throw a rattle trap because my dad always threw a rattle trap, you know, and so many other people, that's their go-to because that's what they learned on and that's what their dad always threw. And so, you know, when I first got in this industry, one thing Scott Martin told me, he's like, listen, he goes, you got to be versatile so that you can, you know, learn to fish any condition, no matter what's being thrown at you. And so I think, you know, getting out of the comfort zone has probably got to be, you know, something that helps you as you know, you fish on tour, because you can't always, you know, fish your chosen technique. So.
Yeah, there's not very many laydowns to flip on the St. Lawrence River or stuff like that.
No.
So you'll get your head thrashed if you want to go over and do that.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely being versatile. Like Scott said, you got to be. When I first got on my first year, I'd fished out of Oklahoma some. I think we fished Ross Barnett, which is a shallow lake. We fished the Arkansas River, which is shallow.
Yeah.
Morgan City was shallow. Shreveport, you know. The only one that was deep, I actually caught my deepest fish in my life that year, was the year I qualified. We fished Table Rock. And I caught some fish out of 40 and 60 foot of water on a drop shot, which is, I didn't have a spinning rod on the boat. I was having to use a bait caster with 15-pound test line on it and half-ounce sinker to even get me down that deep.
Yeah.
But I still was able to fish shallow and do well in that tournament. But if I would have stayed out there on them deeper fish that weren't getting as pressured, I think I could have really done well. But yeah, it's definitely been entertaining for me to try to pick up a spinning rod and learn that stuff, because
Sure.
I didn't even know how to tie fluoro to braid when I got on the leads.
Really?
Like I had 15-pound test fluoro on a spinning rod, looked like a cluster whenever that stuff would just feed off my rod and go everywhere. And I said, I've got to. I mean, I had to step back and say, hey, you better pick it up because power fishing doesn't always work. I mean,
Sure.
you can get by in your single day tournaments. You normally get by with it, but to be really consistent, you have to be able to throw some finesse in with it, and and take your weaknesses and make them your strengths sometimes.
For sure. What's your go-to setup for flipping and pitching?
I really like Falcon Cara Amistad. That's been I think I've thrown that forever. I mean, that was just my thing. And I love throwing braid, which I throw Sunline FX2 braid if I can in 60-pound test. That's one of my favorites. And then I throw a woolly bug a lot now. I threw a Bad Mama from Yum, which I think they discontinued the Bad Mama, but the woolly bug stepped in its place last year and won me. I think I started throwing that in February, and I don't think I ever laid it down all year long until we went up north to St. Lawrence River. And I caught that 33 pounds at St. Lawrence or Santee Cooper. Yeah. Oh, I caught all my weight. I had 95 or 6 pounds, and all of it came on a woolly bug, except I caught 2 on a dinger. So, but that's if I can put that with a 1/4 or 3/8 Rougarou tungsten weight on it, I can go to work flipping bushes or docks, whatever. It's just nice. It's a confidence setup for me, and I know if I need to go get a bite, that's what I can pick up.
Sure. What's your PB?
I've got my biggest one. I think was 11-12, so just 11 3/4. So I just can't quite break I want to break the 12-pound mark and maybe get one mounted, but I just hadn't.
Wait a minute. You can't have it mounted because you haven't broken the 12-pound?
Yeah, I just want to break 12. I don't know why. That's just been because there's a 14.3 and a 13.8 out of the same area that I caught the fish out of. So it's kind of makes me feel bad a little bit.
Kind of makes him feel bad. I have my PB is a 5.1 on 5.1 smallmouth on the St. Lawrence. And
still good.
Yeah. I host a show and I work in the fishing space. I get invited everywhere. And I still haven't.
Well, you can come here and I can guarantee you'll catch one over 8.
Wait, don't tempt me with a good time. Can I stay above the garage like Fonzie and work in like?
Nah, you can stay in my camper. I'll stay in the house and I'll put you in the camper outside so you can feel like you're camping still.
Oh my God, I love that idea. I may never come home though.
Well, as rural as where I'm at, you probably would be in shell shock coming here.
I don't think so. I spent a lot of time in rural America, and my mom lives in a town that has, I don't know, 1,000 people, maybe.
Yeah, we're a little bit bigger than that.
And my brother lives there. My brother lived with me, and when I was in grad school in Boston, I let my brother live with me, and I got him a job at the university. He worked there for 15 years. And when he got done, what did he do? He decided to go, and my mother bought him a house, and he moved to the small town where she lives. And now he fishes. Cause like, if you gave my brother one day left on this planet, he'd go fishing. I'm not the fisherman in the family. So for me to work in the industry and for him not is kind of like a little slap in the face, but he gets to fish on Chautauqua and Erie, like on a daily basis. So he's pretty happy. So.
Oh, I imagine so.
Yeah. All right. I think we got these calls back. Let's see what we got here. Let's try and. All right. Do we got you now?
Hey, what's up, Rick?
Hey, what's going on?
Army Outdoors, Earl Floyd.
Thank you for service.
Oh, thank you for your kind opening words. That means a lot. Appreciate that.
Wow.
What's up, Luke?
Appreciate
you. You guys doing today?
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I just came back on the lake tonight. First time it's been out in like a week because I don't work night shift because the Army does that too. Caught one little half pounder.
Wait, how big?
Half pounder.
Half a pounder. You must have been fishing in Texas when I was there.
It's a little small lake that we have on the base. It's like 75 acres. no docks or anything, just like grass and few trees and timber, but it's close. I don't have to fight people at the boat ramp, and I can keep my catalytic converter.
Nice. I love it.
It's been a huge issue here in Kentucky. They hit a boat ramp a few weeks ago and they cut off 12 catalytic converters in one night.
Dang.
Wow. I didn't know that was a
Yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, neither did I. But no, it's a nice little quiet lake. Everyone goes. A lot of people go there, and but I guess you took a lot of my questions I was thinking of earlier. So I guess I would ask both of you, like, so the water temperature here, like, it's 70 today. Tomorrow it's going to be 21. The temperature has dropped to probably water temp is like down in the high 60s and the low 50s. Today I caught on a creek bait. But I find myself trying and fish more slow bait, drop shot, Texas rig, just a regular soft plastic. But I just get bored sometimes because I want to be doing something. I guess the question could be, how do you overcome that? Like, how do you force yourself to fish slow when they aren't hitting anything else?
Which I've had to kind of take this in consideration myself. The fish don't get affected by weather as quick as we do, I don't think. Now, if you're a couple of days after that front's pushed through, yeah, it's going to change it. Obviously, you get the bluebird skies. But even if you have any type of wind, I kind of try to chase the wind, on those days, because a little bit of ripple is going to break it up, and you can still go ahead and, like you said, is there like submerged grass there in that lake you fished?
Yeah,
Or
it's
is it like
a lot of grass. It's a man-made lake it's out actually on an old impact range from back during the World War II tank days, and they just flooded it and made a lake. But they do treat it. They put chemicals in it. I can't think of what it's called, but some kind of like chemicals to control the grass. And there's grass carp in there because I can see them. I haven't caught one, but they look massive. And then they do drop, anyone on base can take their Christmas trees out there after New Year's and drop them on the bank, and they'll take them out and drop them all over the lake and build structure. So it's a weird lake. And as an example, I fished a tournament. We have one tournament a year here that's sponsored by our MWR, our Morale, Welfare, Recreation people. I fished that tournament. I think there was about 12 or 13 boats in it. Didn't catch a single fish. It's a small lake by comparison, 12 boats. I just had to like junk fish where I could fit in. The next weekend, I caught a 5-pound bass off a Christmas tree. And it actually got so much attention that the game warden and wildlife and fisheries people found me on Facebook and then emailed my official work account just to find out where I caught it, because they wanted to know for scientific purposes that the lake was doing good. And come to find out, I caught it on the top of a Christmas tree pile and a couple of pallet stack things that they had put out there. So there's some big ones in there. Just finding them.
Yeah. I would, if it's got that submergent grass in it and stuff like that, you can still get away with a chatterbait. But I would really kind of, sometimes what I'll do is I'll cut my skirt back and put a smaller trailer. I like to throw a paddle tail on most of mine, and downside and get it to where you can rip it through that grass, but still have a small profile because the fish are getting pressured. But one of my favorite things to do in like super pressured situations now, I didn't used to do it much, and I take like an 1/8 or a 3/16, a quarter at the most, and I put it on a yum dinger. That I catch fish on that everywhere, and because curly tails attract everybody's attention. They attract ours, everything. So something that's, and I mean, you can get, some people want to throw a shaky head. I throw mine Texas rigged, and I catch a lot of fish, especially around, people drop Christmas trees, brush piles here in Oklahoma a lot, and I can go in behind people because they're all throwing brush hogs or 7-inch worms, with your curly tails and stuff like that. And I can come in behind with that dinger, and it's slow when you pitch that 3/16 ounce weight out there. It seems like it takes eternity to get to the bottom. But that little bit, that smaller weight and stuff like that on the Texas rig has really excelled for me this year. When in past I haven't done it as much, I would go to a shaky head, and but too with that Texas rig, I'm never getting hung up hardly. You know, I mean, you can get hung up, but with that lighter weight, you can really get it through that brush and those pallets and Christmas trees a lot easier. And you can throw it in the grass and let it kind of glide down in those holes and those edges. And I get bit a lot doing that.
Yeah, that's what I try to do on the day. I actually put it on a spinning reel because I feel like I get more control on a spinning reel with a soft plastic like that than I do on a casting reel. I don't know why. I guess I'm weird. But for me, with the way I can
what I have done is my line size can really make a major difference on that. Like, for instance, I was at Santee Cooper, and the difference between a 3/16 on 18-pound test line and a 3/16 on 20-pound test line was completely different. I didn't have any control with the bait, with that lighter weight and stuff on that 20-pound test line, where I did on 18. And that doesn't sound like a lot, 2 pounds, but it was a good significant difference for me, and I could watch my bait on it, which I had live scope, so I could tell how that bait was falling on 18 compared to 20. You know, it'd get more of a glide with the 20, but I didn't have as much control for what I was doing. So maybe try dropping, even 12-pound test or 14. That may help with your control on it.
That's usually where I stay on. I think most of my rides are probably anywhere between 12 and 16, depending on what it is. But okay, that's I never thought about that. That's actually, yeah, I've always learned something new every time I call into the show.
Hopefully it works.
We'll see how much time I got left. Like I said, the bottom falls out tomorrow. It's supposed to be 21 degrees, and we're doing a flag ceremony here at the Veterans Cemetery on Post. So hopefully I don't freeze.
No. You'll be all right. I appreciate you, buddy.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate it. Thank you again, Rick, for everything, doing that, and I'll look out for that package. And then as it gets closer to that kids tournament I hit you up about, I'll message you again.
You got it. Oh yeah. Thank you for this stuff, by the way.
That's awesome.
You want to tell anyone? You want to plug this, or should I just tell everyone to go to kidscanfish.net?
Oh well, yeah. So it's that's stuff. Yeah. That's kind of like, I think they're kind of tied together. So what it is here is on Kentucky is just a kids fishing derby that our local VFW post hosts here on Fort Knox, and they hadn't done it the past couple of years because of COVID, and they used to do it at a bigger lake, and this past year they did it at a smaller lake that's actually part of the base. And I think we had over 300 kids show up, and I was the weighter, and my buddy Brian and I, who since retired out of the Army after like 23 years, we rigged up probably over 100 fishing rods for all these kids. And they went out to this little small lake. Kentucky Fish and Wildlife came in and stocked the lake with catfish and trout, I think, a couple of weeks beforehand. And all the kids just came out there, and some had fished before, some had never fished. I'm sitting there at the weigh station. There's a bait shop that actually donated God knows how many thousands of worms.
Oh, so good.
And it was just fun to walk up to us with fishing rods they bought at Walmart. It was like, I have no idea what to do with this. Can you make this work? And having to like set it up and teach the kids. So that was like all the pictures and stuff. So we're set to do it again here early in the spring. We'll have to watch the weather, and then they'll solidify a date. Is going to come down with OEF5 and a bunch of those guys, and kind of make a big deal out of it. So hopefully we can make it a good thing. But it's definitely fun. A lot of kids have never fished before, and their parents have never fished, and the kids want to. And just the influence of social media and fishing on the whole sphere of social media has got so many kids into it. It's awesome.
Well, I'm glad we can be a part of it. So good luck with that. Thanks a lot, man.
Let someone else hop on here, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, bud.
All right. Let's go to Washington, D.C. Actually, I probably shouldn't say that because if I do, I mean, he's got classified G14 clearance, so we'll find out what he's up to. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Hey, I don't associate with Washington, D.C. either.
Okay.
I am south of D. in Fredericksburg.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Yeah. I'm outside the Beltway, Ray. Yeah. So how you guys doing tonight?
Doing great, man.
Want to wish all the vets happy early Veterans Day. Again, like always, Rick, I want to thank you for what you do for the vets. And so my question to Mr. Palmer is, being that it sounds like you're a little gun shy of finesse techniques, I'm going to ask you a question saying super clear water in a reservoir, and you can only take a finesse rod with you. What is the finesse technique you're going to throw?
I'm probably going to have to, if it's got docks, I'm going to have a wacky rig dinger, yum dinger tied on. And if it's
no docks.
No docks, okay, I'm going to have a drop
no
shot.
Docks.
And I'm going to have a drop shot and a warning shot. That's, because that's, we go up to like.
What is the other one?
Up at, St. Lawrence River, you can see 20, 25 foot up there in places. I throw a warning shot. Like,
right.
I don't, like, I'm, the guys
What's that?
have a ton of tackle. It's Yum. It's just it's their drop shot bait. Kind of looks like a goby.
Got it.
And
okay.
I've caught them all over the country on it. It's great for it's what took it. But I've caught. I don't have a bunch of guys have a ton of tackle. Like everybody's like they start pulling like 7 or 8 totes out of their trucks whenever we go all these across the country. I got like 4 little old totes. And they're backup tackle for what I got in my boat already. It's not even all this extravagant new stuff. I'm very simple with what I have. So I've got my green pumpkin purple, my morning dawn, and a shad, like a smoke color, and that's really about the only 3 colors I carry in a warning shot. So I don't get too far out.
Yeah, I found my color this past year has been the watermelon with red flake. That's been my go-to all year. Whether it's wacky rig, I do a lot of finesse fishing in these waters because it's just so clear. Unless you have a good windy day and it's overcast, we had some luck with jerk baits this year above the grass, but I'm done fishing for the year because we're in drought conditions. And they keep pumping out the reservoirs that I go to. So the water is down about 16 feet from normal. So we can't even put boats in now. Kayakers are still going out there, but I have a little bass raider, and I can't get it in and out by myself. So I'm done for the year. I put the boat up. Just gonna hope that we get a lot of weather this year to get the reservoirs filled up. But yeah, it's been really tough this year. We had all the heat, and then this drought condition has really made it tough. But hey, I appreciate you answering my question. The drop shot, gotcha. 2 weeks ago, I tried a drop shot all day long, ended up switching to a Ned rig and caught a whole bunch of bass on a Ned rig that weren't touching the drop shot. The other thing that I've also tried is that drop dead net. I'm not sure if you've heard of that. It's where you're using a Ned rig and a drop shot at the same time. That's been pretty effective for me also.
It's it's the Alabama rig of finesse fishing.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
You have a good evening.
Good night, Marty.
All right.
All right. This guy called in earlier and hung up, or we kicked him off. Jared, I apologize to everyone at home. Jared, my podcast producer, probably screwed it all up. All right, let's see. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, what's going on, Rick? How you doing? It's Fat Man James.
Oh, Fat Man, what's going on?
Sorry about earlier. I had another call. My boss called and I screwed up the call when I hung up. It wasn't nothing on your end. It was all me.
No, wait a minute. I get it.
Oh.
The boss calls you. That's a little more important than talking to us. So.
Yeah, Yeah, how you doing, Luke? Nice to talk to you.
All right, doing well.
Question. When doing the drop shot, what's the starting depth? What depth do you usually start at? Because I've been having problems with the drop shot. Like, I can't seem to get anything on the drop shot. Everything else, I bang on, but the drop shot, I just can't seem to get the hang of.
I've caught them up in less than 3 foot of water on it. I mean, that's kind of, but most generally, anywhere from 7 to 40 feet. I'll start out that 7 to 8 foot range is where I really start using it if I'm going to be using it. The thing is that I had a buddy tell me this, and Aaron Martins told him. And this has been several years ago because I didn't even know what a drop shot was. And my buddy showed up from California with a bag of some long, skinny weights and these hooks that I don't even crappie fish with that small. And he said the key to it was for him, and I kind of took it to heart, was move the worm without moving your weight. That makes sense. And that weight sitting there, don't move the weight, but just shake your rod to where that, because if you just put your bait in the water in front of you and you just barely move your rod tip and the weight never moves, you can tell how much that worm moves.
It'll jiggle it around quite a bit. Sure.
Yeah. And, it's kind of one of those things you have to figure out what those fish are doing with that. Sometimes I've flipped it, and when I'm working it back, not even moving it. Like I've sat there for, 10 or 15 seconds and not move it, and then just start easing it along and never really put a bunch of action to it. And then there's other times where they won't touch it, and I'll sit there and I'll shake that rod to where that bait sits there and quivers, but the weight never moves. That's kind of where I had to get started on whenever I was starting to drop shot, and learning, because it took me a while to learn it myself, because it's dirty water here in Oklahoma. I mean, we have a few lakes that are gin clear, but I still end up finding dirty water somehow. So I never really put that into my arsenal that much, but I started using it more and more, especially since I got on the leads. I've obviously had to use it more, especially going up north. But I've kind of started incorporating it down here on the south end too. But the main thing was trying to figure out what those fish want, whether you're shaking a lot or just almost dead sticking it. But start out that 6 to 8, 9 foot of water. I really like mine. The visibility in the water is really what I'm more apt to, as far as if I'm going to use a drop shot or not. If I have clarity of 2 foot or more, I throw it a lot more than but if I have less than that, I'm probably going to gravitate toward a jig or a Texas rig.
Right. Yeah, it's just the one type of finesse that I haven't seemed to get a hang of yet, and I haven't landed anything on that. I have no problem doing anything else, but for some reason the drop shot's been a bit elusive.
Whenever like I said, I didn't know anything about spinning rods. I'd used some trout fishing when I was in college, and they were like little Snoopy rigs. But I took it and I said, I'm going to learn how to use this, and that's the only rod I would take. I mean, I would go to. I had to use it on the lease before I really got good with it, but I would go to ponds where I knew I could catch fish. It didn't matter if they were 10 inches long or 8 pounds. I was getting to use a spinning rod, and I was getting more comfortable with throwing a wacky rig or a shaky head or a Ned rig, or whatever I was needing to try to figure out how to use. And you can get more hook sets that way. You can feel your rod better, and you can experiment with line sizes too. And that was where I really got started to using the spinning rod for me.
Appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for
Yeah,
calling
thank
in.
you for your time. Hey, thanks, Rick. Thanks for everything you do.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your support. That must be
All
your
right,
boss.
thanks. Bye.
All right, bye.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Oh, it's your boss. We
While
better
they're
take it.
while they're calling it whatever time it is here, and we've been closed for 2 hours.
Oh, no. All right. Well, we're going to be quick. We're going to be respectful of time. We only got a couple more. We didn't even get to all my good questions. I had such good questions.
I got all night, so you just ask away.
Oh. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Rick.
Hey,
How's it going?
great. Who is this?
Luke, thanks for coming on and talking to us. Want to thank all the veterans for their service for Veterans Day tomorrow. Really only have one question. I'm in the Great Lakes area. Wonder how Luke approaches fishing in the elites at a predominantly like a smallmouth fishery as opposed to largemouth. Like we have mixed bag waters here, like St. Clair. If you have a bad below day, you can go and target largemouth or fish smallmouth. How do you approach those fisheries?
I just hope the wind's not blowing 30 mile an hour so I can go beat my teeth in on St. Clair. Places like that, obviously I'm going to start looking for, is there any type of structure that these fish may hang on? Smallmouth, obviously up there, they're major roamers everywhere we go, they roam. But the Great Lakes, it seems like they really move a lot. When I'm going to a smallmouth factory, no matter where it's at, I've always got a drop shot tied on. I normally have 2 or 3 of them with maybe different colors or different weight sizes as far as my weight going down. I was going to have a crankbait and a jerkbait tied on. That way I can say if I'm, with live scope and stuff like that, it's really changed the game as far as, you're like, say, St. Clair, for instance, dropping on those fish, it seems like they're starting to get a little more pressured, and they would prefer to be 50 feet out in front of you, and you're able to throw a drop shot to them. But whenever you're just trying to find those fish, and maybe they might suck down in that sand grass or whatever, you can take that jerk bait or that crankbait and cover tons and tons of water compared to what you can do with a drop shot. And once I start getting a few bites or something, I'm going to start dropping some waypoints and start gridding out my areas, because there's a reason why those fish are there, whether it's bait, maybe a spot in the grass that's, it's bare, or maybe the grass is taller in that area. But I'm going to go out there and try to find the structure, any type of structure I can find, though, because they want something different, whether it's, smallmouth want something like a mixture, whether it be the edge of a grass flat with sand or, maybe a rock pile in the middle of nowhere or something like that. And then I want to really target those areas with, those 3 or 4 baits.
Sure. What about largemouth if you get a blow day like that on a smallmouth fishery?
I'm probably just still going to go beat my teeth in and just go out there and try to catch smallmouth. But no, if I get in there, I love to punch, and it's weird because Oklahoma, we don't have any grass to punch. I like to flip, so you get to flip a lot when you're punching. I always have, if I'm going to go up there and get in the canals or something like that, I'm going to have me a 1 ounce or 3/4 ounce weight to punch through there, have a frog tied on, and, maybe like a chatterbait. Because, those fish, you can find them ganged up too. You can catch you 4 or 5 out of one little old patch of grass or something like that. The frog it really helped me catch some better fish when I was up there, going in, not just St. Clair, but like different lakes that I'd been to up there. That frog would really pull those fish out, and it seemed like I wouldn't get as many bites, but I was getting a little bit better quality.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's the only question I had, man. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks for calling in,
Hope
man.
that helps. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Okay. We're down to 2 calls. But first, I was just reminded of the golden tickets. All right. So for those of you sitting at home, texting me and reminding me that I should second guess giving out my personal cell phone number because every time I make a mistake, someone likes to remind me. And I thank you for that. I also thank you for all of you that have it, that stopped calling me at remembering that I live in the West Coast, because when you're up having coffee, driving to work, and want to tell me about what you caught, as much as I'm excited to hear about it, that 5 o'clock phone call usually comes a little too early. So thank you for everybody that has, remembered that I live in the West Coast. And thank you for everyone that reminded me about the golden tickets. So here we go. All right. Your Monster Bass box comes with an individually numbered golden ticket. If you have that number, when I call it out, email me at marketing@monsterbass.com. I will hook you up with a bag full of stuff. In fact, we're going to get, I sent out a bag to someone that called in, and we're going to get him on the show and have him send a picture. Maybe he can do a live unboxing for us. That would be amazing, so you guys can see what I actually sent. All right, so the first number, 09561. The second one, 10930. Now, before I move on, I know half of you guys are like trying to or debating, should I slip my wrist now or not? Because you got a pile full of golden tickets that are the old numbers. Those are still good. This show just happens to have a whole bunch of new numbers. So I apologize, but don't get rid of those tickets. They're still good. All right. 10309, 09688, 08446, and I'll save one till the very end just to make sure you guys stick around to the very end, because you don't want to miss our next caller. Our next caller is no stranger to the show. I don't know if he's actually got a question for Mr. Palmer here, but he's definitely going to have something to say. So let's hear what he has to say. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, and happy holidays. It is that man they call Mr. Gambit 2000, right here in the city of Inglewood, California, down the street from Harry Styles, still taking over the Forum here in Inglewood, California. It's not too far from LAX. Or you, Rick, what's up, man? Sorry, didn't want to make you guys jealous, and I didn't know I was going to get told off for talking about a deal. You know, I'm a guy who loves the deal, and I know that when I see a deal, sometimes I got to say a deal. And what I did was say a deal. And man, did some people get butthurt because I mentioned a deal to them. They were butthurt because I mentioned someone else. And I said, oh my God, are these guys butthurt like little girls about, oh my God, I can't believe you said something about another site other than Monster Bass. My feelings are hurt. Did you leave Monster Bass? Of course not. I didn't leave Monster Bass. Off Monster Bass is Rick gives out the best deal. Because if you're on Rick's VIP list, and you got that text that I got this morning, you got some cash back. You said, look, here's some cash. Go spend it on the Monster Bass site. But you don't get a chance to be on that list unless you go to monsterbass.com, put your phone number in, give him an email, let Rick see you an email, let him see your text.
I got to stop you, Mr. Gambit. I got to stop you right there. First of all, two things.
I got you.
I can't help it if everybody is, if the Monster Bass family is so loyal that my phone's going to blow up the moment you're talking about about a competing website. There's nothing I can do about that. Hold on, guys. If you guys are really excited, I mean, look at the chat. It's blowing up right now. I got to go take care of this really quickly because, we can find some hot girls here. How do I delete this? I got to put them I got to delete them. Oh, did someone already delete them? All right. So, Mr. Gambit, you need to pay attention to what the text messages say, because that was not a Monster Bass text message today. That's an entirely different company.
No, that was a Monster Bass. They gave me a link. They said go to Monster Bass and spend it on Monster Bass. But understand, I did get the other one. Rick, remember, I used the outlet bait and tackle because I remember you told me to look over that site, looked it over. It was down. You said we're redoing it. I know you redone it.
You're
and
right.
They said go to outlet oversight bait and tackle. I know what you're saying, my man. You got to go there and get those other deals. If people don't go there and get those other deals, they won't know about those other deals. I want everyone to be informed. If you're informed, you know you won't miss a deal. But if you don't get that message from me, you may not get the message. That's why I'm trying to put out the message.
I agree, and you are totally right. I did. And if you guys aren't signed up for it, Mr. Gambit's right. I sent everyone a text message today, and I gave you guys $10 to spend at the store. No minimum purchase required. No, nothing. Just it was my way of just saying thank you guys for all your support and of my brand and my company. It really means a lot to me, and it's something I'm going to give you guys every month, just so you guys can go score something at the site. So, all right, Mr. Gambit. I would love to talk about how Harry Styles is packing the. Actually, you know what we should do some night? We should go down to the Forum and just hang out outside, bring a cooler, hang out, and just, because there must be so many girls that go to that show. So, Luke, if you didn't know, Harry Styles is taking up residency at the LA Forum. 15 nights, I think it's 15 nights in 20 days. He sold out the Forum. Yeah, I know. It's unheard of.
Absolutely.
And
he definitely took 3 days off because he got the flu. When he got the flu, he took those days off, and there was some butthurt girls because some girls have been coming away as far as Ohio to come to LA to see this guy. So I'm telling you now, there's tons of girls coming to Inglewood. And if all the single guys out there want to pick up on some hot chicks, they can come right to the Kia Forum and go, I'm going to pick me up a hot chick in Los Angeles because they're so hot going to see Harry Styles. Oh, my God.
There you go. All right. You got a question for this guy. He's in the money 90% of the time. So
I know, and this is the question I gotta give him because he threw out a nugget earlier. The nugget he threw out, and I don't know if half the chat heard him when he said it, but he said something that was very unique. Now I'm going to mention a site because he's part of that site. He's a Yum guy, and the Yum guys on that learn that site. So when he said that forward-facing sonar minnow, if nobody picked up that forward-facing sonar minnow, what Jason Christie won that Bassmaster Classic on, if you don't have a few of them in your box, you're missing out on some baits, guys. If Monster Bass stocks them, they will stay sold out all the time because throwing those little 8-ounce, 3/16-ounce little jig heads, you will get fish, guys. And if you threw that nugget out when the show first started and you didn't pick it up, re-listen to the podcast because you'll pick it up and go, wait a minute, what did he say? Sometimes, guys, these pros throw out nuggets, and you got to listen closely. Luke Palmer, just give me an opportunity to ask you, how often do you throw that forward-facing sonar minnow, man? Because I've had you on my fantasy list. I know you throw those small baits to get bit, and that's why you're 90% in the money most of the time.
Let's just say it's tied on a lot. Since Christy didn't give me any for the Classic, which I was kind of a little hurt on that one. But after that, they were if there's a smallmouth or a spotted bass around, it's definitely tied on for sure. It's getting a lot more attention for me down here now, especially when the water gets cold and those fish start really keying in on shad big time, especially those dying shad when they're getting pressured. It kind of picks them clean.
So just know, my man, I'm going to keep you on my Bass Fantasy list the first 3 tournaments of the year for sure. Try to give me some points, my man. Do what you got to do. I'm going to put you on my fantasy list. So that's what I do with the pros that come on this channel. I listen to what they say. They tell me what tournament they're going to be doing good in. You give me that heads up tournament. You say, watch out, Mr. Gambit. This is the tournament I'm going to be in. Put your money on me, my man, because your fantasy list should be bumped up with these points.
I hope I can help out your fantasy feet. Your team, and I don't jinx it. I might be getting jinxed now.
I don't know. Polinick was on a couple weeks ago, and I feel like his team must be pretty good. He's got you, Polinick. You got KVD on your thing still?
Well, see, that's what KVD ain't went back to Bass yet.
Oh, that's right.
But, you know, I've had, I don't have Palmer. I don't have so many people on there. I do guess my points are up. Keep in mind, I'm one of those guys that stay in the 90% most of the year, between 89 and 94%. But there's some guys who pick on that Bassmaster list. There's guys who stay at that 97 to 99% the whole freaking year. I don't know if they're magicians or working the magic wand or what, but these guys always seem to be winning those prize packs and staying in money. I go, how the hell are these guys doing it, picking all the top 5 guys every freaking tournament?
Oh, my God. That's amazing.
Oh, man.
You know I love you, right?
Oh, all right, man. Of course, man. That's what I'm saying. Tell them don't be too butthurt because there's different companies at this Christmas time, and let the guys know who are a little bit butthurt that I mentioned about a sale. All I told them about that other site was there was some usually $17 swim baits that were going for $5, and there was some other baits going for $1, and they said, "Oh my God, you can't mention no one else. Don't talk about that." I was like, "Oh my God, that really hurts that I mentioned them a deal." So I guess I'm not allowed to tell them about the other deals that I found. Well, I guess I'll just wait and tell the ones who want to know. Somebody wants to know. They'll probably add me on the gram and say, "You got any deals for Christmas?" I'll let them know what Rick's doing. I'll let them know what anybody's doing if they just ask me. That's that Southern hospitality. I still got it, man. I bought it from Georgia, bought it to LA. It's still in me. You can take me out of the country, but you can't take the country out of me of being good natured.
Mic drop. All right, my friend.
Mic drop. Later, guys. Have a good holiday season, guys. Take care.
All right, take care.
Appreciate it. He's the man.
He's a grandpa. His little grandkids must like love him. He must just like play with them, and they must just like love him so much. Either that, or he's like he's a 40-year-old grandpa. Because he's got a lot of energy.
Oh, he's wide open.
And
I bet his feet hit the floor. He's running.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I had some really quite good questions that I wanted to ask that I thought about. Before we go to our last caller of the day, I understand you have a special talent.
What's that?
Yeah, mowing grass.
I've done it for many years.
By choice, or because you had some community service hours for something you did wrong, and now you're good at it?
No, I stayed pretty good. I could. That's one thing about being from a small town and my mom's a teacher, and my family's in the hardware store.
Everybody knows you.
I couldn't do anything without the whole town knowing about it. My family, they knew about it before I did it, so it was kind of pointless. Now the grass mowing deal, it kind of came up whenever I was in 5th or 6th grade. Dad said, "You want to start fishing tournaments with me? You want to play baseball or mow grass?" Oh. Well, mowing grass was one of the three that I didn't get to decide. That was I was gonna mow grass.
Yeah.
And but I chose to fish. But I mean, I played ball after it anyway, so it really wasn't a major deal breaker. But that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I mean, I bought my. A lot of people want to get a truck or something they get out of high school. Well, I went and bought, when I played my last basketball game my senior year, I went and picked up my boat that I was able to pay for. I mean, I worked my butt in the ground. Friday and Saturday nights, everybody was, going uptown, driving around, might have been partying a little bit.
Sure.
And I was probably still mowing grass most of the time, but I was going fishing Saturday and Sunday. So, when you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you don't really have time to go out and hang out all night. I mean, you could, but I need more than 2 hours of sleep now, especially since I've got a little bit older. But that was kind of my, you have to have some discipline. If you want to be good at something or great, or I'm not great by any means at anything I've ever done, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to work my butt off to where I can do whatever God's given me. I'm going to try to give it everything I can to get there.
I don't know if I totally agree with what you just said. I mean, you just said, I don't know that I've been really great at anything I've done. And I think that might be a limiting belief on your part, because you're on the elite tour.
Yeah.
All of us in the chat, we just talk about our little weekend tournaments. Heck, we're drinking beers during the tournament. We're doing whatever. And, I think you might be selling yourself short. I think that's one where you should maybe sit with it for a little bit, because I think that you've done pretty well for yourself, and I think good things are coming, because you seem to be like a really good human being, and I think success is going to follow you no matter where you go. So,
I hope that happens. I appreciate that, but I hope it happens. I want to get up there at the top. I want to be in that top 5, top 10 in points every year. I know that's not possible to do it every year, but I'd feel a lot better about myself that I would be really competing. Being in the 20s, don't get me wrong, making the classic's the goal. First term of the year, you got to make the classic, so that's kind of my thing. If I can make the classic every year I'm fishing, I make enough money to stay on the elites and not go broke my entire life and be broke down whenever I'm 60, I guess. And because there's no way I'll make it like Clun has. There's no way I can be 125 and still fishing against guys like he does. So
yeah. Do you have a hard bait sponsor?
yeah, I'm with Yum and Booyah, which has got Bandit, which is Pradco.
Oh, so you're Pradco across the board
Yes.
for all categories. Yes. Tungsten, all that other fun stuff.
Now I'm with Rogru Tungsten.
Okay.
I'm with.
Who's your hat sponsor?
Well, actually, company New Thread. She actually does all my hats and my jerseys and any of my apparel stuff for me.
Who's your guys? Work with me here.
My sponsors are Falcons.
Yeah, I know that.
My clothing line, rain suits, is Gill. So they're good. They got some good stuff, no doubt.
Who's your guys? I don't see anything in the chat. You guys are awfully quiet. Boots? No, I don't make boots. No one can see them. It's got to be something you can see.
Well, Gill makes. I wear their tennis shoes every day to work. So.
Oh, Jason, you're a funny one. I actually had an idea for a business, and it would be appropriate for this audience. It was called. Well, we'll talk about that another time. All right, let's get to our last caller of the day. Who's your face shield sponsor?
I don't have a face shield sponsor.
All right.
You got me.
And do you have a subscription box sponsor?
No, I don't.
God, I'd hate to be known as a subscription box, but maybe. Rod sleeve covers. Big Rich, no one's going to see the rod covers. He's never going to be up on stage and be like, well, if it wasn't for my rod covers today. All right.
Well, they would protect my Falcon rods, though. So,
they might. They might.
Kind of, you got that.
All right. Our last caller of the day. Let's go there. All the way from Georgia. What's going on, my friend?
And nothing much. Just working and dates, Just the same old stuff,
Staying safe from the hurricane, or what's going on?
I really don't know. It rained pretty much all day today. It's a little quiet right now, but it says it's supposed to pick up later tonight and then tomorrow all day. So who knows? Hopefully it'll stay kind of quiet, but you never know.
All right. Well, you didn't call to talk to me, so the floor is yours, my friend.
All right. Well, thank you. Hello, Luke Palmer, Mr. Palmer. I have 2 questions for you. So, What is your favorite lake in the entire United States, and what is one lure that is produced on that lake very, very well for you? Whether that's tournament fishing or just fishing in general for fun or with family and kids.
My favorite lake, and it's something I've told my buddies, and I've always said I want to take my dad up there more than anything in the world, is Lake Champlain. You can do anything up there. I mean, it's fun. There's tons of fish. You don't catch giants, but I don't know what's funner than catching a 3.5, 4 pound smallmouth that jumps 12 foot out of the water 85 times before you get in the boat. My main thing up there that I've really done well off of, and it's every year I've been up there, and that's the warning shot. I throw a green pumpkin purple, and even though the water's gin clear, I stick that in my hand, whether it's there or St. Lawrence River or Cayuga, or it doesn't matter. I've done really well on it with smallmouth, and like I said earlier, I keep things really simple. A lot of guys have. I mean, I look at Brian New's deck, and I would stroke out if I had 27 rods on my deck like he does. And he's got more rods like back there at the co-anchor, back there by the pasture.
Yeah.
If I get over like 8 or 10 rods on the deck, it's too much. I'm very simple, and and that's the reason. Like up there, I've caught some on a jerkbait up in Champlain and stuff, but my main thing has been that warning shot. I mean, I've caught tons and tons of fish on it. And it's like I said, I stay simple. Because if I get out of my realm fishing against these guys, they're going to beat your teeth in. I mean, obviously you've got to be able to do other things and be real, but if you really want to, luckily I've been some successful at doing it. I've stuck to my guns and what I know how to do, and that's what's been good for me. Like I mean, like I said, I've learned to throw a spinning rod. I've learned to throw a 1/8 ounce hair jig or 3/32, whatever it is, up to throwing 80-pound braid punching mats at Gunnersville. So you kind of have to have a broad spectrum of it, but I still go pick up a Amistad and go throw a dinger around, something like that, and catch fish everywhere in the country. Whatever you have a lot of confidence in, you better have it on your deck no matter where you're at.
Champlain is beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah.
I grew up on Oneida, and we'd always go to Saratoga to the racetrack, and there's a performing arts center. So I've spent a ton of time over in that part of the state. Oh my God, Champlain's so pretty.
Oh, it is. And it's like I said, and it's like there's so much around that place to go do. Everybody thinks New York and stuff as being just the city everywhere.
Oh, no.
It's nothing like that. It's like more rural than Oklahoma, it seems like.
Yeah.
So it's a very pretty state. And it's got some phenomenal fishing.
We do indeed. We do indeed. Brendan?
All the north states yet. I really want to fish some of those northern states like St. Lawrence River and catch smallmouth, because I've never caught a smallmouth. I'm from the South. I'm not around any sort of smallmouth. I caught a bass just the other day that was kind of golden. It had red eyes and the jaw kind of looked like a smallmouth. I was really confused at it. But so my next question was that is there certain conditions that you would throw a spinnerbait over a chatterbait or vice versa? Because they're very similar, but they do have subtle differences that I think could perform in different conditions better. What do you think on that?
No, I agree with you 100% on that. If I'm looking at water that's dirty, and say below 55 degrees, I'm going to throw a spinnerbait there 90% of the time. I mean, there's some times that the chatterbait will work better, but that colder water, love throwing a big Colorado blade, a lot of thump. It's going to slow down, bringing around those fish. I mean, you can always catch fish on a spinnerbait or chatterbait no matter what you're dealing with. But when I start getting over that 55-degree range is when I'll start picking up a chatterbait. And kind of depending on what I'm around also. If I'm around a bunch of laydowns, I don't prefer the chatterbait. I prefer spinnerbait, because that chatterbait seems like a lot of times it wants to roll off and get hung up, and that screws your whole laydown up for me. Chatterbait, exclusively for me around grass. I'm talking like hydrilla, coontail, stuff like that. I'm almost exclusively going to be throwing a chatterbait then, just because, spinnerbait.
Oh yeah, then you can pop it.
Yeah, that way you can get that reaction out of those fish. Not saying you can't catch them on a spinnerbait, you obviously can, but for me, that's when I really like to throw it. So definitely grass is my higher expectation for a chatterbait. But that spinnerbait when it's really cold or when the water's extremely clear, the really dirty waters when I want to throw it, and extremely clear waters when I want to throw a spinnerbait most of the time. And the chatterbait fits better for me in that mid-range. I guess you'd say that 55 to 65 degrees. That's where I really excel more with the do the polar opposites. I throw the spinnerbait, and in the middle I throw the chatterbait.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the tips. And do you ever get into fishing? Like, I'm a big bait nut. Do you ever get into fishing big baits, especially in the wintertime, like fishing a trash fish or Huddleston?
No, I haven't really. I started throwing one at Fork last year a little bit, a big bait, but I just haven't ever really just got into it big time. I don't know why, and I know it's one of those deals. I guess it's a do or die situation in a way for me on elites. And I had Hackney tell me one time. He said, first time I ever talked to him at a boat show, he's like, he said, "Hey, you've done pretty good this year and stuff." I said, "Yeah, so just trying to make a cut." And he says, you'll stay on the leats a lot longer if you make cuts. And, I mean, that has a lot of truth to it. So that's where I've kind of done it. Now, say if I can go catch me 16, 17, 18 pounds and know that a 5 or 6 pounder could be the turning point, I'm not saying I ain't going to pick that bait up, throw that big swim bait or something like that. But I just haven't got into it. And I would really like to. Around here where I'm at in Oklahoma, they work, but not as well for me, because fishing's not, I mean, we have good fisheries, but that big bait where you're only getting 5, 6, 7 bites a day throwing regular stuff, you're liable to knock that down to 2 bites a day, 3. And then you might win big bass, but, being in the top 5 is sometimes out of the question. Not saying you won't. I know guys have whacked 25 pounds throwing a big bait. But I've been able to be more consistent doing it without the big bait, Might be why I haven't won in a long time.
Yeah,
too.
Totally. I mean, I've seen like people do like where they have the strategy where they get a good sized limit as fast as they can, and then they go and throw the big bait all day to get that kicker fish, just push them up just a little bit more. And I really don't think the big bait is going to play too much into tournaments. Maybe someday we'll have a 1 fish limit, and maybe that is where the big bait will play in those. I'm hoping we have one of those someday, maybe like a once a year kind of deal. That would be pretty cool. And have some of these big bait makers and these, have this really cool 1 fish limit tournament. And I thought that would be pretty cool. But yeah, thank you so much for the tips, and best of luck to you in 2023.
All right. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Yep.
Well,
And,
listen. Go ahead.
All right.
That was it.
Okay. No, you go.
No, you go. It's my show.
I wasn't going to say anything, really.
All right, then hang up. Get out of here. Nah, I'm
All
only
right.
kidding.
Well,
I'm only
you
kidding.
guys
I'm
have a
only
good
kidding. What'd your mom make for dinner? I'm only messing around. What'd your mom make for dinner?
So we had spaghetti, and I'm not too big of a fan of spaghetti. That's the only thing I really won't eat besides bananas. Those are the only 2 I won't eat that I'm just like, I don't know about that. So I had pizza. And then she made a blueberry cake. So it's like a breakfast cake. It's like blueberry muffins, but it's more dense, and it's cake in cake form.
You should talk to your mom about, like, maybe she should, like, I don't know, fry something in duck fat or beef tallow. See, my mom.
Trust me, she has a lot of different things that she cooks the meat in.
Oh, I'm sure. See, my mom's in town, so I'm already thinking about where I'm going to have her take me. But then I feel bad because she insists on she insists on paying the bill. And it's not like I'm not 20 years old. I'm not in college. I'm a grown man. I should take my mother out and all that. But like, I know she's going to order a bunch of wine, and then she's going to, the bill's going to come. It's going to be like $300 for the 2 of us. And I'm going to be like, all right, fine. You can pay for it, Mom. No, my mom, listen, my mom is in a place. She's doing very well for herself in retirement. So anyway.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
All right, bro.
I'm not one for expensive, fancy food, but we've got good food here. So whenever you're ready, come on down.
I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. So at some point, I'm coming down, and I'm gonna sit down, break some bread, and eat some. We're gonna have some of your mom's famous ham. I don't know if it's famous, but that's
I'll
what
see if we can get her to make it.
Yeah. All right, bro. We'll
it's
talk.
Good. It's yeah. So all right, have a good one.
All right, bye. All right. Well, there you go. That was our show for tonight. I really want to say thank you for coming on. You don't know me from a hole in the wall, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day and out of your your busy schedule to be with us. I hope you had a good time. I know that my audience did, and so thank you very much.
I appreciate you having me, man. I enjoy doing this stuff. This is one thing that I never thought I would enjoy, because I just kind of do my own thing, I guess, in a way. But this is one thing I enjoy, meeting new people and meeting you, talking with you. And, you learn something. If I can learn something from you, you might be able to learn something from me. I watched Aaron Martins talk to a kid at a tackle show. That kid wasn't 5 years old, and he talked to him like he was like he was Aaron Martin's, watching
Yeah.
him, and it was, and he learned something from that kid. So
Yeah.
you can't take for granted who you're going to be around, what you're going to be around. So learn everything you can and enjoy people.
Yeah. I get it. It's true. It's true. All right. Well, listen, we're gonna let you go. Thanks a lot. Is there any are there any brands or anything you wanna tell our audience about?
Oh yeah, which I've stayed. A lot of my sponsor stuff have been kind of lifelong journey people with me. They Horizon Track over at Arkansas. I drive 210 miles for my dealer. I've been doing that since 14 or 15. And the guy takes care of me like big time. I mean, he fishes, he understands fishing. He's not just trying to sell you a boat. He wants to take care of you as a customer. And we do that here at our hardware store. We try to do that for people. Gill Fishing, they've decked me out in the best apparel possible for me. It's been great for me. Pradco, Booyah, Yum, they've been with me since day one. Oh, buddy, if you need some insurance, Thomas Madden Insurance, he takes care of all my insurance, my house, boat, truck, life. Whatever he does, he's got it for me. I've been with Falcon Rods. It's being Oklahoma. It's been really cool being with them. Right at Tulsa, I need rods. I drive up there on my next trip, wherever I'm going, swing in there, and you can actually walk in there and pick up the rod, and buy that rod and everything. So it's really cool being able to see stuff like that. And, it's just been a lot of fun for me.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I get it. You find good people and you stick with them because it makes your life that much easier.
I guarantee you, it's just like, when you spool up a Sunline, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it.
There you go. I like that one. I like how you dropped that one in right at the end. All right. And we'll get in touch with you and we'll talk about how you could be our face shield sponsor. I didn't even know that's a thing, but that's pretty funny. But,
I might need one. That
you
keeps
might.
that thing to keep me dry, and that keeps where I don't run over people whenever it's raining like crazy. So that could work.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much. And I hope 23 is your best season on tour. And we wish you the best of luck and we hope you come back sometime.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. All right. All right. That was great. I had no idea what to expect. But man, he's a really nice guy, down to earth, and I wish him the best. I really do, because he seems like a really I'd love to drink beers with that guy. I don't even drink beer, right? But he seems like one of the kind of guys I'd love to hang out with. I'm sure back in high school I would have drank a ton of beer with him. It was a great show. Okay, so I see some people in the chat. Free bait Fridays. Yeah, free bait Fridays. Every week I send you. We charge $5 for shipping on the website. We have to because it's out of control. Free bait Friday is my way of giving back to you, and it's not meant for you to go and just like get the free bait. To me, that's silly. Like, here's a free bait. You're gonna get it, and you're gonna pay for shipping. So you might as well hook yourself up with something else while you're at it. I mean, do whatever you guys want to do. Just my way of saying thank you. Don't be alarmed. This week I may do Free Bait Friday on the other website. I might. I just might. But if you're not on my SMS list, head over to monsterbass.com, sign up for text alerts. It's guaranteed you'll get it. And so listen, tomorrow, take a moment, and when you wake up, I want you to think about the life that you have. And you can always want more money, you can always want a bigger house, a better car, whatever. But maybe just take a moment and take like 5 or 6 deep breaths, and just breathe in gratitude. Breathe in, all sorts of thankfulness for the fact that you don't live in insert one of these other countries where you don't have the ability to walk out the door, do what you want, say what you want, eat what you want. You have the greatest gift that there is, and that's, you were born in the United States, and There's a lot of people that'll sit here and tell you that it sucks to be an American right now. Listen, our country could be screwed up. All the countries are screwed up. Politicians screw up everything. But we live in the greatest country in the world. And I honestly believe that. Do I think our politicians are, doing the best? No, I think they suck. I think the Republicans suck. I think the Democrats suck. It's the way our system's built. And I'm not going to get in politics discussion because I never do it because it's just a slippery slope that no one's going to win at. And I just will be like, ugh. But tomorrow's Veterans Day. And a lot of people sacrificed their lives. A lot of people took time away from their families to take care of us. And whether you believe in what they were doing or not, it doesn't matter. They did the job that they needed to do, and we lived the lives that we live because of those people. So do yourself a favor. You see someone tomorrow, thank them. Because at the end of the day, we have a lot of what we have today because of those people. And a lot of people lost their lives, and a lot of people made sacrifices that you and I will never experience. I will never experience the sacrifices that some of those men and women have made. And for that, I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for what you did, and I'm grateful for the freedoms that I have. So happy Veterans Day, everyone. I love you guys all, and I'll see you next week. Thanks.